think. Now on to number 13, which is another Hero Factory 1.0 piece, which is this. This was the chest plate to bulk. It's set exclusive. It's kind of tricky because it has a space for a hero core here, so you can really only use it for hero mocks. It's silver color and like machinic look do make it one of the more versatile hero chest plates. Yeah, it only has 2 connection points. It has a rod connection here, which is intended to be where the hero core goes, and a axle connection right here, which would connect to the main body frame at the time. So that's number 13. And at number 12, we have a three-way tie, mainly because I wanted to get all these pieces on the list, which is between this Ripcord piece and these 2 pieces. All of them have Technic pin connections. This Ripcord was used... Well, I'll just... They have very similar uses. They came in all the same sets. You would put a minifigure in here, then put another piece around it, or not, and then there's another piece that is built into a launcher, and you put that on there, slide the ripcord in, and then when you pull that, you get an interesting spinny thing. So there are other ripcords that LEGO has made, most notably, to my mind at least, is the ones for the Shima Speedors. I didn't include any Speedor stuff on list because I think the Speedors have a lot more mock potential than these do. There is, you might be able to use these for some sort of mock, considering the Technic connections, but they're really intended for this use, so it can be kind of tricky to find other uses for them. So number 12 is a 3-way tie between these 3 pieces. And number 11 is a 4-way tie. Let's get the orrery back up here. And the Death Star. So I'm grouping these spheres, those spheres, and these spheres in one category because, again, I want to fit all these pieces on the list, and all these pieces have similarities. They're all big, they're all round, they're kind of tricky to use. These Death Star pieces, they have some anti-studs in the bottom and a few studs on top. But they do have these clip connectors that they connect to each other too, which kind of stick out a bunch. I do think that the bottom half has more potential than the top half, because the top half has that Death Star laser dish thing, which makes it more recognizable as the Death Star compared to the bottom half. When talking about these 2 orbs, this one comes in, I believe, one other Technic set right now in white, but these have the Earth prints on them. Both of these have some pin connections on the side to connect to their other half, and some rod connection at the top and bottom. So different connections than the Death Star one. But they have similar problems, that they're big, round, and niche. They're designed for specific purposes, and they're kind of hard to use outside that purpose. So that's number 11, the 4-way tie between these 4 pieces. At number 10, we have the original Brixiferator. This was before these designs came about, and they are far less useful. These ones Well, they both do the task of separating bricks from bricks, but this one can't really separate tiles because of it doesn't have this thin bit on the end. Um, can't separate Technic either, no Technic connections. It does have a space next to the thing where you can put your thumb, which is helpful, and it can be fun to like put a minifigure on here and then launch it. So it makes like a minifigure launcher too, I guess, but that's not really using it in a mock. Um, you can, as I said, you can attach pieces to this, like to the front here and to the bottom, but this one you can't. It has this weird angle. You can't attach pieces to the bottom. And because these anti-studs here are at a different angle than these top studs, you can't really incorporate this into a build very easily. So much harder to include in a mock, not as useful as these brick separators. So that's why it's at such a higher ranking. Also, I only have one of them. I think I got it in like its own standalone set. According to my research, it did come in some other sets, like alongside other sets, like the modern brick separator. But I got this one, I believe, as its um, individually by itself. So that's number 10. Going on to number 9, we have this, which is Stringer's breastplate from Lego Hero Factory Wave 1. Most of the same things apply to Bulk's breastplate that I showed a bit ago. It's just, I think this piece is much less versatile because has these like speaker designs in it, which I guess can be cool, but I think that makes it like a little more niche than Bulk's breastplate, making it somewhat less useful and a little more unique. So that takes it on the number 9 spot. In number 8, I have this. And I wish I had the set this came to, because I'd be really interested in having a Bionicle Bow-Rock for myself. But I did get this from a random parts grab, so no complete Bow-Rocks for me. This is a piece that was used in Lego Bionicle for the body of Bow-Rocks. It has several Technic connections to it, but it has a very unique shape which can make it hard to use in mocks. That's really all there is to say here. And that means going on to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have more Bow-Rock pieces, which are these. These were used to house the Krana, and like fling them at opponents or other Bow-Rock or whatever. Not useful for me because I don't have any full Bow-Rock or full Bow-Rock Va, and I don't have any Krana whatsoever. They do have a shovel-like shape, so I can see potential them being used for like a shovel or like a dump truck or something, except their Technic rod connection is quite offset. So if you're applying the Technic rod straight through, it's going to be at one of these two angles, which aren't great. So yeah, not a whole lot of mark potential with these outside of Bow-Rock and Bow-Rock Va. Not super useful, so that's why these are at the number 7 spot. On to number 6. And I have the pieces spread out across the room, so I'm going to have to reach further and further. At number 6, I have this, which is pretty much a variant of this piece that I showed off earlier, except much taller, which makes it more niche. It came in fewer sets, and like the bottom of this one has tapered to allow it to spin on surfaces. The bottom of this one is flat. It's going to make it move around a lot more, and of course way taller. Why is that? This came with the Lego Ninjago Dragon Warrior glider master thingies. Um, Similar case in that, like you would put a minifigure in here, um, put the cap on, and then put the other thing on, and then launch it. But yeah, it's got a much more unique shape. Came in fewer sets. That's number 6.